Well, good morning. Good morning. My name is Willie Lawson, and this is the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Trust that you are well this glorious, magnificent, fantastic day. Remember, every day is a great day. Just some days it's raining. Again, it's raining a little bit at my house. So if you are the praying type, throw a few prayers up there for the Lawson family. You can always use them. All right. Sometimes it's so stupid that you just can't help it but laugh. I laugh a lot because some things are just so stupid, and it's just and the stupidity isn't getting any better. It just isn't getting any better. It's stupid, and it's just kind of fun. So we're going to enjoy that today here. It is October 27th, 2022, in the year of our Lord. It is Thursday, and I trust that, again, you're doing great. You'll be able to see this video. If you see it on the website, it's on YouTube. If you see it on YouTube, it's on the website. If you see it on the website, it's on Rumble. If you see it on Rumble, it's on, y'all get it right. It's on everywhere but where? BitChute. You're right, because BitChute friggin' bites, my opinion. Unless they're going to sponsor us and give me a way to upload videos quickly to their site without having to, I don't know, open a vein, then BitChute bites. Maybe that should be a t-shirt. BitChute bites. No. I'm wearing my Urban Game Changer shirt, holding elected officials accountable. I am in an organization. I was in an organization for a while. We're very active around the country, holding local officials responsible and accountable for the things they do and say. And that mentality should not go away. I want to thank my friend Shirley Huzar for starting and for this being her heart child. And we should continue that work. I think all of us should be urban game changers. And we chose urban game changers because I got some stuff on me that I'm trying to get off. I'm sorry. We chose urban game changers because urban communities suffer the most with being lied to, with being cheated, with being taken advantage of, with being extorted by government. So that's why urban game changes. But you know what? The same mentality needs to happen in the suburbs and in rural areas, everywhere. These people at the local level get away with murder. Sometimes actual murder. They get away with murder. They get away with being able to say whatever they want to say for years and years and years, and no one ever challenges them. And it happens on both sides of the aisle. It isn't just Democrats, but it is Democrats. It's Republicans too. They promise and they don't deliver. And they're never made to be of account. That's one of the things in our country that need to change. A lot of people are all hot and bothered about Trump, but you know what needs to happen is that you forget taking back your country if you can't control your own community. You can forget about taking back your country. You take back your country. You can't control your own damn living room, let alone your country. So let's do the right thing. And let's do the first thing first. First thing is our own communities first. First things first. All right. We have a lot of stories to tell today, and got to get to them. So again, we're going to take a little break. We'll be back with more of the program right after these messages.
Well, hey everybody, my name is Willie Lawson, and you guys know that I do a lot of stuff on the internet. And you may think with what's happening on Twitter and what's happening on Facebook and what happened to Parler that the mainstream social media sources are really trying to rid themselves of conservative voices. And you'd be right, they most certainly are. Um, but you know what? It isn't as bad as you think it is. It's worse. But there are people who are willing to be platformed for free speech. One of those one of those places is freedomforum.website. Freedomforum.website. You can go there and speak your mind. So come join us. Enjoy the freedom. Enjoy the fun. If you are a true blue conservative, small businesses are near and dear to your heart. They are the lifeblood of our life and economy. I believe this, and that's why my florist is not a website or a phone number. My florist is Bloomingdale's Flower Shop, Tampa's premier flower shop. At 11618 North Florida Avenue here in Tampa, Florida, and at 6835 State Road 54 in Newport Richey. Call Christine at 813-933-1942 and at 727-232-6900. She can also be reached on the web at www.bloomingdays.com. One of the things that I get asked most is where can I get information that is not tainted with liberal bias, especially here in the Tampa Bay area. Well, now I have the answer. tbctampa.com, a website by and for Tampa area conservatives. Tampa's leading conservative voices speak freely at tbctampa.com. And you can too. So join the fun and enjoy the freedom at tbctampa.com. My name is Willie Lawson, and this is the Morning Report.
All right, we're back. Thank you ever so much for spending some time with us. Let's see here. The debate with Oz and John Fetterman. Now, I think we have been very, very careful on this program to be as compassionate as possible. Because not that I'm worried about what people are going to say. I'm not. I couldn't care. I couldn't care less. I could give less than two poops about that. It just bothers me. It's sad for me to see another human being who's obviously struggling. The president of the United States is struggling, and to have them being pushed forward, pushed over, and used and dragged along for political purposes, for power purposes, it bothers me. It really does. And I think the same thing is true in the Fetterman case. I do. A new poll, however, a new insider/advantage poll in Pennsylvania's U.S. Senate race between Dr. Mehmet Oz and Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman shows the Republican up nearly 3 points over Fetterman in a survey that was conducted before this week's debate, in which Fetterman basically imploded on live television. The results of the poll wrapped up on the day of the debate shows Fetterman at 44.7%, while Oz popped up to 47.5%. Just 3.6% of likely voters reported they are still undecided. I'm guessing that a lot of people who were looking to be decided made their decision, last night. And the real, and let's take a look at the Real Clear Politics poll. I like Real Clear Politics because they sort of smash all the polls together and sort of get an aggregate. I like that. The Insider Advantage state of Pennsylvania. This is for 750 likely voters. Now, a lot of times when shows talk about these polls, they don't tell you what I'm telling you right now. This is from 750 likely voters, and it's from October 26th. And the margin of error is 3.58%. Remember that, because that's super important. The question is, if the race for U.S. Senate in Pennsylvania were held today, for whom would you vote? Oh, who was writing this as an English major. 44.8% say John Fetterman, 47.5% say Mehmet Oz. The Libertarian Eric Gerhardt gained 2.8%. Anybody else, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, 1.3%. And people who say, I don't know, 3.6%. John Fetterman won women. He won the female category. Mehmet Oz won the dude category. Oh, you want race? You want to know about race? Okay, fine. John Fetterman won Black people, 67.2. Do you think that John Fetterman won Black people because he's a Democrat? That's why. Mehmet Oz won white folks, and other people who didn't fall into the white or African American Black category. 72.4% of them went towards Mehmet Oz. Now, that was a small sampling. That was only 58 people. Most of them went towards Mehmet Oz. All right. Age categories, and I think this is telling too. In the 18 to 39 demographic, which was 109 of the 750 likely voters, Mehmet Oz 46.9% to John Fetterman's 44.0%. So that young demographic, Fetterman does not have. That middle demographic, people like me, 40 to 64, which was a majority of the survey. That's 358 out of 750. 53.4% Oz. 65 or over, John Fetterman. I don't understand. Obviously, Mehmet Oz won the GOP. People who identify as GOP, and Fetterman won the Democrats, right? Independents, people who identified as independents, decided that Oz was a better choice than John Fetterman. That should be interesting too. Let's see if there's a. Nope, that's another race, and we don't need that. So a few days ago, this race was tied. At 46. So, in the music world, when we did marching band, we would hope that the group would peak at the right moment. I mean, we don't want their best performance to be 2 weeks before evaluation, right? We want their best performance to be the night of evaluation on the field or on the stage. And it seems like Oz is doing this. I think that that he has momentum, and now probably more momentum than he had before. His performance in the debate was, I thought, very good. He was very well prepared, but more importantly than that, he seemed to be very compassionate. However, is a CNN medical analysis, person, analyst who said, no, he was cruel because he was speaking intentionally faster than he might have otherwise. And he was doing this on purpose. So Fetterman's closed caption didn't work all that well because that's what they blamed. That's what the Fetterman camp blames on his poor performance. That the technology wasn't working as it should have been working. I don't mean to be cruel, but I guess it's going to sound cruel. Yeah, that's not the way. That's not the way you can do it. You can't do it. Now the left is trying to spin this as disabled people deserve to work. You should, but you can't be a U.S. senator. Disabled people should be able to work, but you can't be an airline pilot. I'm sorry, you can't have cerebral palsy and be an airline pilot, or you can't have I don't know if you can have Down syndrome and be an airline pilot. I don't think there's any provisions why that you could be a double amputee and be an airline pilot. Some things are just real. They aren't nice, they aren't fair, but they are what they are. You know the phrase, it is what it is. It is what it is. And what it is, it seems like Fetterman is falling further and further behind Mehmet Oz. But again, please do not count chickens before chickens hatch. If you are in Pennsylvania, continue to campaign until the very last minute. If you have early voting, vote early and then campaign your ass off. Campaign, knock on doors, wave signs, hand out information, talk to your neighbors, talk to the people you go to church with, talk to your friends, talk to your family. Yes, from now until November 8th, until the polls close, this is when you drop it into the last gear and you just step on it. This is the final push. This is not laid back. All right, see what happens. No. You go headlong into this election. Full tilt boogie, baby. That's how you have to do it. And I'm saying that not only with the Oz Fetterman race, but with Carrie Lake and Katie Bloom, Marco Rubio, Val Demings, Ron DeSantis, Charlie Crist. Wherever you have those kind of races, Greg Abbott and Beto O'Rourke. Wherever you have those kind of races, now is the time you don't lay back. You push forward, and you push forward harder than you did when you started. You sort of have to get that second wind and get it done. And if you haven't participated yet, the people who have been in these campaigns are waiting for reinforcements, and that's got to be you. That's got to be you. All right, we're going to break. We'll be back with more of the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. We'll be back right after these messages. So is it okay now, because it was, during the Trump administration, it is okay to talk about the president's
yeah. We talked about mental health elderly, so let's talk about this guy mental health.
The president's mental acuity, because there's sometimes where it seems to be lacking. Have you seen?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's especially bad. I'm talking about sometimes it's like really bad. Like, have you seen the picture?
I was told not to take any questions.
I was told not to take any questions. They're going to be mad at me.
They're going to be mad at me.
Mr.
President, are you the president, or were you five?
You see, what I want. See, the next question is, excuse me,
I was told to call on call for NBC. Who's telling you to call on?
That's the question that we ought to be asking. Who's telling you this?
I mean, I don't understand why nobody won't ask that question.
Is Jen
This is the
Psaki
question.
actually the president?
Who's telling you to call on these people in the media?
Is Jen Psaki actually the president?
Probably so.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to the program. My name is Billy Lawson. This is the Morning Report. The Morning Report is production on fightbackmedia.com, 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 and Fightback Media TV. We appreciate you being here. It's a glorious, fantastic, amazing morning. Thank you so much. Fallout from the Fetterman performance. Chuck Schumer is caught on a hot mic making a major admission ahead of the midterms. Speaking to President Joe Biden on the tarmac in Syracuse, New York, this morning, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer expressed concern his party will lose seats in the upcoming midterm elections. This seat we're in danger, and that seat is close, but we'll see, he says. But we're, you know, it looks like the debate didn't hurt us too much in Pennsylvania as of tonight, so that's good. So what they know is that train wreck, that thing was an actual train wreck. But like I said yesterday or the day before, whenever you heard, the idea is that these debates and the like are almost useless in the sense that by now most people have decided who they're going to vote for, who their favorite team is. You know, if FSU loses to the Florida Gators, I will not become a Florida Gator fan. It's not going to happen. If the Buccaneers don't win another football game this season, I will not burn all my Buccaneer stuff. And you know what? Out in the street, I won't. So I'll still be a Buck fan. So I've already made my decision, and I think most people have made their decision. In what we told you just the story before the break, we mentioned that only about 3.6% of people are quote undecided. I'm guessing that only about half of them will actually make a decision. So it's going to be razor thin. So when we see that 240,000 ballots were sent out erroneously, we see that the Secretary of State is already saying, she's the interim Secretary of State, already saying that that this could come down to a few days. This won't be this race won't be figured out that evening or Tuesday evening. It might take a few days. You can already sort of your gut's kind of already turning, isn't it? So that's what we have. That's what we have to look forward to. Yay. Eric Erickson tweeted, going to be interesting. The top 3 here online surveys, Harvard, Harris is 2. The others are phone surveys. Political poll has regularly gotten +5 for Dems for a while. GOP still leads the average. And I think this is a generic congressional poll. And I think this is important because we can sort of follow the generic polls. Let's see here. The Economist, I mean, basically in a generic poll is who you want. You want a Republican, you want a Democrat. You want vanilla, you want chocolate. You want a Rocky Road, you want coffee flavored ice cream. What you want? The RCP average, which is the Real Clear Politics average, is Republicans are up 1.9% in the spread. And of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different polls and surveys, Republicans lead pretty much most of them. The only 2 that Democrats lead in a generic poll are the Economist YouGov polls, which I believe is an online poll, and the Political and the Morning Consult, where the Democrats are +5. In Democracy Core, Republicans are +2. In the Emerson poll, Republicans are +5. In the Rasmussen reports, that's 2,500 likely voters, Republicans are up +4. In the NBC News poll, of likely voters. Republicans are up +1. In the Monmouth poll, with RV, what reality voters? Not sure what that means. Republicans are up +6. CNBC, Republicans are up +2. CBS News Battleground Tracker, Republicans are up +2, and the Harvard Harris poll, but Republicans are up +6. So in an average, in a generic congressional vote polling data, at this point, Republicans are up +1.9%, almost +2. We'll see how this works. I don't know. It's gonna be super interesting as things move forward. All right. Somebody else, I think that from where I'm sitting, is doing a pretty doggone good job, and her name is Kari Lake. Kari Lake is a candidate for governor in Arizona. Those of you who are watching from Arizona will have an opinion. Now, I don't know. I'm going to say this out loud. Wendell, if you're watching, go ahead and comment. I'm sure Kari Lake ain't your favorite girl. Anyway, the media asked Kari Lake about a break-in at the Hobbs campaign headquarters. Apparently, it was a break-in. Well, here's what needs to happen. But there was a little break-in at Katie Hobbs' campaign office. Hobbs, Arizona Secretary of State and Democrat candidate for governor, accused Republican opponent Kari Lake of causing the unfortunate incident. In a statement released by Hobbs, she said, "Let's be clear." I love when they say that. For nearly 2 years, Kari Lake and her allies have been spreading dangerous misinformation and exciting threats against anyone they see fit. The threats against Arizonans attempting to exercise their constitutional rights and their attack on elected officials are the direct result of concerted campaign of lies and intimidation. I'm going to finish with a story. Yeah, you'll see how this is going to work out. These are and what she says, these are baseless accusations with Lake slashed down with a katana, countering that Hobbs was weaponizing her office dust up to gain political points. Not learning their lesson, the media asked Lake for a response. And the Republican gubernatorial candidate went to work calling the incident Jussie Smollett Part 2. Okay. Kari Lake, the Republican nominee for governor of Arizona, called reporters despicable for asking her to respond to allegations from the Arizona Democrat Party that she was directly responsible for a break-in at Democratic nominee Katie Hobbs' office earlier in the week. She said this is absolutely absurd. It sounds like a Jussie Smollett Part 2. You're going to drag the people through something like this, Lake said in response to a question from a CNN reporter following an event honoring first responders on Wednesday. You're letting a woman who has been running a terrible campaign direct you to a story like this? You know she's running a bad campaign, Lake added. The Phoenix Police Department said it is investigating a burglary at Hobbs' campaign headquarters and determined items that had been taken from the office Monday evening, although it did not clarify what was taken. So when will the media learn you can't trap Kari Lake in these silly questions? The feisty Republican was recently pressed about so-called election denialism. That's the thing, I guess. Hillary Clinton's got it, and so does Stacey Abrams. And Lake whipped out the receipts showing scores of Democrats criticizing the legitimacy of our elections dating back to the 2020 election. They lost their mind in 2020. Do you remember? They just went ape snit. Hobbs' response to the alleged Lake-inspired office ransacking is cringeworthy and reeks of desperation from a campaign saddled with a Sephora candidate who is allergic to debates. If Hobbs wants to press Lake, she can show up for a showdown with her. Instead, she ducks and covers because we've seen all her interviews with friendly outlets where she struggles to deliver the simplest of Democratic talking points. Yeah, they picked on the wrong girl. They just did. You know, and when they say that people like Carrie Lake are inspiring violence, they just arrested the second person in the brutal assault against a Marco Rubio canvasser here in Florida. Second round came from the left, citing news reports that the local police had not obtained evidence of any political motive of the act of violence. People began accusing Senator Marco Rubio of lying and perpetrating a hoax, citing there's no evidence lying from the police. They also pointed to reports that the victim has been associated with a racist group, but appears to have left them. Blaming the victim, blaming the guy who's going to need facial reconstruction. You deserve to have his ass kicked. Anyway, expressing regret for some past bigotry, regardless of criminal physical violence, was totally unjustified here, regardless of the identity of the target. We recommend waiting for more information, but also noted that it was not a big stretch to suggest that a GOP volunteer wearing Republican campaign apparel, a Rubio shirt, and a DeSantis hat got savagely attacked right before the election might have something to do with politics. You think? So some dude shows up. He's got a Rubio shirt on and a DeSantis hat, and he gets his ass kicked. And it had nothing to do with politics? Seems like it might, right? Seems like it might. In the bad faith pushback against that tweet that Guy Bitts wrote a tweet. I noted that no evidence isn't a permanent framing by authorities, some of whom have indeed been bizarrely hesitant in recent memory to label obvious political violence as such, even in the face of overwhelming evidence, or even an explicit confession. I wasn't accusing anyone of lying here, but the idea is that we know that law enforcement will go, well, we don't know yet. Well, we don't have any evidence of that yet. Or maybe we don't have any evidence of that because they haven't talked to the person. They haven't asked that question yet. And no one's volunteered that information. Maybe. Or maybe they're just avoiding it. Marco tweeted out. I tweeted the other day. On Sunday, thugs told a GOP canvasser wearing my campaign T-shirt that he couldn't be in their neighborhood because he was a Republican. They assaulted him and commanded 2 dogs attack him. Surveillance video corroborated the victim's story, and police have now made a second arrest. Man. Local media spent 2 days treating the GOP canvasser who was attacked as a criminal and denied the attack was politically motivated. Now, a second arrest, a police report, and surveillance videos show how biased and irresponsible that narrative they were pushing actually was. Marco also tweets, when a Republican volunteer is savagely beaten, the traditional media, legacy media, treats the victim as a criminal, and the criminal as a nice young man who likes fishing and just made a mistake. An article from the Miami Herald. So when Katie Hobbs talks about people, people on the right getting people to be violent. First of all, not the case, and it really it's never been the case. I mean, to be honest, it's never been the case. You remember the video of the woman leaving the Trump rally getting pelted with eggs, right? What was she doing? What was she doing that was so terrible? She was going to her car from the Trump rally, getting pelted with eggs. What did she do that was so terrible? What did she say that was so terrible that she deserved that? We saw people get sucker punched, kicked, beaten. for attending a Trump rally, for deciding that this was a candidate they wanted, that strangers physically accosted them. Violence from the right? I don't remember any of that. I don't remember anybody beating up anybody who was a supporter of Joe Biden. I don't remember anybody beating up anybody who was a supporter of Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama. I don't. If you've got those receipts, please share them with me at fightbackmedia@gmail.com, fightbackmedia@gmail.com, fightbackmedia@gmail.com. Send me the link in the email at fightbackmedia@gmail.com, fightbackmedia@gmail.com. Send me the link. Show your receipts. Show your receipts. Go ahead. I'm ready. Will is ready. All right, we got to get out of here and make room for somebody else. So until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, and I mean this from the bottom of my little heart, I'll take care of yourself. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.